So today on the program, we're learning about the Schiller Institute Chorus and Friends, and in particular about a special performance that they have coming up here in Quincy on a Friday evening, November 22nd at 7 p.m., a music and poetry evening. So Jen Pearl and Milena Robinson are both here to tell us a bit more about it. And ladies, thanks so much for spending some time to talk to us, first of all, about the Institute, and second of all, about this coming show. It's great to see you both again.
Yeah, you too. Great to be here.
Jen, we can start with you if you don't mind, and give us, for folks who don't know, a little history about the Schiller Institute, number one, and number two, about the chorus.
Great, thank you. Yeah. So the Schiller Institute, this is actually our 40th anniversary year of our founding. And we were founded by Helga Zepp LaRouche, the husband of the late Lyndon LaRouche, who was an American economist and statesman. And the intention of the Schiller Institute was basically to uh, bring together nations based on the best cultural statescraft, best ideas of those nations, regardless of other differences. Um, and so that process has been extremely effective over the last 40 years. We've put out certain economic proposals and policies that have been implemented. Like, for example, you have right now the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, which has expanded into a commitment for infrastructure and development. Nations like India and Pakistan, who have had historically conflict, have been working together on infrastructure projects. So this type of perspective, which I think you can also bring back to the microcosm as well in terms of, our own nation and the types of collaboration that's needed despite differences. And that's our mission as a chorus, is that classical music can bring people together in that way.
So has the chorus always been a part of the Institute from its founding?
Yes. So I would say our moment of uh, founding was in 2014. Um, we organized a concert on the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy, a performance of Mozart's Requiem, which had been the piece that Jacqueline Kennedy organized for the commemoration a few months after his assassination in 1964 in January. They performed it at the Holy Cross Cathedral, and we, 50 years later, organized the same at the same cathedral and had an audience of something like 1,200 people from all around Boston who attended. So that was kind of our founding concert, and then we grew from there.
Sure. Where is the Schiller Institute, by the way?
Well, it's international. I would say the I mean, Helga Zepp LaRouche is German, but we are an international institute.
Okay, and are there local branches? Like, is there one in Boston?
Yes, well, I would say our chorus is probably the main focus of the Schiller Institute in Boston, but we do have a big branch in New York, in New Jersey, and other places, and then internationally, France, uh, and other places.
Okay, and how did you yourself, Jen, get involved with the chorus?
Well, I uh, went to college for music, and when I graduated, 9/11 had just happened, and I was really concerned about the direction of the country. So I got active in around the LaRouche movement in terms of trying to stop the war in Iraq and Afghanistan and things like that. And one of the big aspects of our way of kind of reaching out to people was through classical music. And since I have a background as a musician and a singer, I kind of took on the task of building a chorus.
Okay,
Yeah.
and became a co-conductor, right?
Yes.
Along with Milena. Milena, tell me a little bit about your story and how you came to the Institute and the chorus.
Fairly similar, actually. It was after 9/11 when I got I was young and got aware that there were problems in the world. My country is Denmark. That's where I grew up. And Denmark became part of the coalition that was that time it was the Iraq War, and I got involved trying to oppose the war efforts. So in that process, I ran into the Schiller Institute in Denmark. And actually, the thing that I really was attracted to was the idea that we can eliminate the cause for war entirely by pivoting in this moment in history towards a policy for development and massive development projects. So the project at the Schiller Institute at that time, when Jen was mentioning it, was called the Belt and Road, or the New Silk Road Initiative. And that was an idea that was really spreading across the world as an alternative to nations fighting each other and fighting over resources, limited resources, would be that we instead would collaborate around development projects and developing new resources.
Okay.
So
Like
the
international
idea,
trade type of agreements, right?
yeah, an international project to really build the world and industrialize, bring electricity, water management projects, new cities. I mean, one of the major problems in the Middle East is the lack of water. So that was the angle at which I got involved, was politically at the time. But I don't see a difference, and neither did Helga Zablarouche or any, there really is not a big dichotomy between the idea of eliminating the costs for war, going with a peace and development perspective, and then a classical renaissance of the culture. As Jen was saying, that uplifting the cultures, reviving the best ideas that have been contributed to the cause of mankind by all of the nations of the planet. So so the idea of cultural development and economic development is what I was really have been committed to.
Yeah. So do you feel you've had some success in that realm?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, these are ideas that are being discussed across the world right now. Because I mean, most people know that we are at a moment of decision. We do have an economic crisis. There's the war threat. Most people are well aware that we are going in the direction of increased war and instability across the world, and that the future is uncertain. What they may not know is that a huge portion of the world have already decided that we don't want this direction. We don't want another world war. We want to choose development instead and collaboration. So a big portion of the world, this is centered in Asia, Russia, China, they have gone with this new system of development that was proposed by the Schiller Institute about 30 years ago.
Okay.
So
All right.
we are, in the United States, the struggle really is the United States going to revive the better angels of our nature and the better tradition in the United States, which, would be the founding fathers, the Hamiltonian credit system, the development of Lincoln. John F. Kennedy was sort of the last, I think, example of an American president who was really going with these big ideas and peace through development.
Interesting. Okay. So, but does the Institute, I'm sorry, Jen, were you going to say something?
No. Just,
Okay. Curious if the Institute, I mean, do you actually lobby, government leaders and politicians and diplomats with these suggestions and thoughts and ideas?
Yeah, our institute is, we're writing articles, we're doing conferences, we are going to people with these ideas. But more recently, in the last year or so, the Schiller Institute has been the driving force, pulling together what we call an international peace coalition, which is leaders, individuals, and people who represent institutions, journalists, diplomats, people of all sorts of political, backgrounds. Many of them disagree, they're left, they're right, whatever, but they all agree that we need peace.
there's a common ground to start with, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They've been
Absolutely.
meeting now every Friday online for 52 weeks, I think.
Okay. All right. It's so interesting that the organization was founded by something that was so very violent, that with your experiences with 9/11 at least, and bringing you into the fold here, striving for peace.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does the performance this coming, let's see, November 22nd at 7 p.m. at Christ Church here in Quincy kind of reflects those values, if you will?
Well, this is going to be a music and poetry evening, and our idea is we have a couple of things that are kind of coming together in this concert. One is on November 22nd. November 22nd is the anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. We also had Friedrich Schiller's birthday on November 10th, who Friedrich Schiller, the poet of freedom, who our Schiller Institute was named after. So we're bringing together kind of those elements. And some of the repertoire of the concert, I think, is really going to reflect this idea of what humanity could be. For example, the chorus will be performing a piece by Felix Mendelssohn, which is very beautiful, and it's called "How Lovely Are the Messengers of Peace."
Okay.
We're going.
Not very cryptic. You just
No.
put it right out there on the table. Yeah.
There you go. Pretty straightforward. We're going to have a section on the African American spirituals, which is a big part of our mission as a chorus, to bring that to the forefront as the real American music, real American classical music. So I think our repertoire and our intention is really to get a dialogue going among people about higher ideas, the mission of the country, the mission of the world, despite the differences. We've become so divided in this country, and when it comes down to it, there's a certain, and it's largely very kind of petty things that have divided people. So our intention really is to unite people around these great works.
Yeah, I did want to ask, is there a speaking portion of the program, when you talk about these thoughts and ideals, or is it strictly music?
We try to not talk too much, but yes, I will. I will do an intro, and then we're actually a member of our chorus is going to do a short presentation on Friedrich Schiller, so people actually know who he was. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, tell me about the makeup of the chorus itself. How many are you? What are the backgrounds? How does one become a member?
We are very diverse. We have, I would say, from age 20 to, I don't know how old our oldest member is, maybe 80. We honestly, a lot of it is word of mouth. And actually, Malena and I have done a couple things where we've gone out to local events in Quincy and just leafleted about our chorus, and people come and join. So it's kind of like that. And it's varying abilities. Some are more experienced choral singers. Some are very, very new to it. And one of the things that we've tried to do is also offer vocal training. So people aren't just coming in and not knowing what they're doing, but we have sectionals every Friday before the rehearsal for the voice parts to really work on their voice and development.
Okay.
So that's an important part of it.
Yeah. And sorry, how many are there, Jen? How many members right now?
25,
Okay.
around there.
Okay. All right. And how did you both become kind of co-conductors? That's different for me to have co-conductors.
Malena, do you want to say something?
Well, I mean, we founded the chorus together out of the process that Jen was describing, really out of that big event that was pulled together by a small group of people, and Jen and I were driving it here with a lot of help from members of the Schiller Institute from the whole East Coast. But we've worked together as a team from the beginning. We're also best friends, and
Oh,
Yeah.
we're together.
Yeah. We Yeah, exactly. We work together as a team. We discuss the music, we discuss what the intention of the concert is, what we want to do, how we want to shape it. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have to audition to become a member?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome, whatever level you're at.
Yes.
Okay. And is there a cost at all?
Um,
Help.
just to throw in $5 a week to help rent for the rental of the room.
Okay. And how long have you been at Christchurch here in Quincy?
Ooh, gosh, I don't know, 5 years, something like
Okay.
that.
Or
We're
more.
very grateful for that space. It's so beautiful. It really is. It's a wonderful place to rehearse and perform.
It's a very old congregation, goes back to the 1600s. The building is a little newer, not much.
Yes, it's wonderful. Yeah, we love being there.
Yeah.
Well, Lena, I'm curious. We didn't talk a little bit about your musical background. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pianist
Oh,
and
okay.
I sing as well. And I went to school in Denmark. Um, but I actually, since the Schiller Institute, also in Europe, was collaborating with musicians and singers. When I joined the organization, I joined over there and took over the music. Very similar to Jen, because I had the background. I took over the process of building the chorus and working with singers over there.
Okay. And how did you two become friends?
Well, I came here because I met my current husband.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he was American, so I moved to America, and that's how we met.
Very
Started
good.
working
Singer
together.
in our chorus too. He's a tenor.
Yes, and my husband's baritone, so so we welcome couples, we welcome families.
Right. Yeah. And what about say young people, high school or even younger, perhaps?
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
Really?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
Really,
Jen, are you also a musician, Jen, or just a singer?
Yeah, I'm a singer and I teach voice
Oh, okay.
locally at a couple different places, and I have my own private studio as well.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, it is let's see, a music and poetry evening. We didn't talk about the poetry at all. What would that be including?
Well, we have mainly one poem that will be recited, and then this short presentation on Schiller. But I think also one thing that's important is there will be a few art songs performed. And art songs are really unique because they are a really perfect friendship, you could say, between poetry and music, where oftentimes the composer will be inspired by a poem and then set it to music. So you hear in the piano is not just an accompaniment like boom chunk, but actually has a voice of its own.
I see.
You could say that that's a poetic element as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Very good. So that
Yeah.
makes something unique. Who do you think is your audience? Who would enjoy a performance like this?
I think anybody. We really have had such a diverse audience in our concerts. I think people who are looking for music that's not just, I mean, it's entertaining. Obviously, it's beautiful. People can come and be entertained, but we also want to appeal to something deeper.
Hmm.
If people are looking for a way to kind of think about a different way to think about maybe what's going on and how to, deal with certain challenges. I think something like this can really give you a different perspective.
Sure. Milena, did you want to add something?
yeah. I think of the classical music as it's an oasis of beauty and sanity in a world which, for many people, if you get lost in the moment, it's pretty insane.
Mhm.
But zooming out and discussing and just being confronted with ideas that are eternal and beautiful and truthful and true for humans here and now and humans in the past and humans across the world is a way to, connect with your own universal self, which tends to help you navigate the everyday. And so, yeah, I think of it as an oasis of beauty and sanity. And that's why I think people who come to our concerts, they often say, "Oh, that was refreshing. That felt like a bath for my soul," or, or
Yeah, we had one audience goer who told us after, she said that was the most honest performance I've ever been to.
Oh, an interesting description. An
Yeah.
honest performance. Yeah. Okay. It says a light reception to follow.
Yes, light
Okay.
reception. We've had some lovely donations from the community, and we really appreciate that as well. So yes.
Nice. How can folks, Jen, support the chorus if they would like to?
Well, they can, I think the best thing would maybe to contact us via email. They can also come. We will have a donation basket. They can throw something in when they come. And if they want to send a donation, the best way is to email through the email address. Yeah.
Okay. SchillerChorusMA@gmail.com.
That's it.
Very
Yes.
good. All right. Anything else we should add, ladies?
No, I'm
Just
happy
come
to.
and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. This was
Yeah.
a lot of fun to talk
Sure.
about
bring your friends and come.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you both. It's been a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful event. Again, just to repeat for folks, it's Friday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. at Christ Church, which is the Episcopal Church on Quincy Avenue, right next to Quincy Fire Headquarters, to give folks
Yeah.
a landmark if they don't know where I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Thank you both. Really great to talk to you, and have a wonderful performance.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.